What's up? So today I'm going to go through why I think Saquon Barkley is not a first round talent. I've got three other running backs ahead of him. But I've seen him mocked first overall, second overall, basically top 5 consensus. But I'm not sure that he brings the value from the running back spot that you really want. I've got Derrius Guice ahead of him. I've got LJ Scott ahead of him. However, Scott is actually returning for his senior year at college. But if LJ Scott, if you're out there, man, and you hear me talking about this shit, you should probably go into the draft, because if I was a GM, I'd take you. I think you're a second round value. And we'll look at a bit of his footage later on, just to show why I think that. And also I've got Rashaad Penny in front of Barkley. The main reason is, from the running back spot, I think you just need a guy who can just reliably make some yards between the tackles. Now, I don't think Barkley can do that. He's a freakish athlete, but he doesn't play like it. I think he doesn't relish contact. I think he actually avoids it. I don't think he's very explosive through holes. He's great outside the tackles. So obviously he's got value as a, try and get him in doing some screen passes, some sweeps, some tosses outside the tackles so that he can make plays in space. But within the confines of the offensive line play, I'm not sure if he's good at reading holes. I'm not sure if he's good at letting his blockers make blocks. I'm not sure if he's good at setting up linebackers to commit a certain way and then he go the other way. I just don't think he's as instinctive as some of the other guys in that regard. I think he's 45th on my big board. I'll show you my big board here. So the first running back I've got is Guice at 31st, LJ Scott at 34th, if he would have committed. 37th is Rashaad Penny, and 45th is Saquon Barkley, right? So, I need to come back. There we go. So I think, just the other guys are just better at just standard running between the tackles, which I think it means that you're actually using your linemen. You're paying your linemen millions of dollars a year. Let those big boys do their work and then let the running back run on through. So if you've got an elite guy who can run between the tackles, then that means that it means that the linebackers have to be aware of the threat inside, which means that they can't leak out outside as easily, which means that your wide receivers have more space, right? So I'll just show you some footage of Barkley and show you why I think he's not great between the tackles. I mean, like I say, he's 45th on my big board overall because he's just a super athlete guy. Big playability is there for sure. Even though he's a return guy, he'd be one of the better return guys in the league. I think he can make plays outside. I'll probably say the words outside the tackle millions of times in this video, but I think that's just where Barkley is lacking. So we'll just have a look.
We'll see him active in the pass game tonight.
Yeah, that's the area that he's probably improved the most since you and I left.
First down. He gets 6 there. And now it's Barkley's first carry, and he muscles a first down. Active in the pass game tonight.
Yeah, that's the area that he's probably improved the most since you and I left.
First down. He gets 6 there.
See, he's not bursting through that hole sufficiently for a guy who's measured in like the 90th percentile for all his measurements, right? He just stuffs around a bit and he doesn't read it quite fast enough, right? Like that should have been a bigger gain, I think. And he doesn't drive through tackles. So you want him, boom, straight through there, right? At least getting up to this region, right? Maybe a little bit of volume to make it less awkward.
Big play. In fact, their defense.
Right, nice route there. Yeah, he's got some value in the running game. So he trips up. I just don't think he likes contact, which is a problem as a running back, because if you want a bell cow type running back that's worth, you know, $10 million a year, like Le'Veon Bell has value between the tackles, outside the tackles, as a receiver, you know, but they're saying Barkley is the best running back prospect that they've seen in years, but I'm not so convinced about that. I really want to bring the camera up when I'm watching these videos, but anyway. But he gets a bit too pretty on his route. See, this is where he excels in space. Boom. See, he's not exactly an Adrian Peterson type, just running as hard as he can. Whereas you look at Guice, you look at Ford, you look at Penny, they really try and get the yards after contact. Right, so this is where he's good. See, maybe you'd think he could cut in there. Boom. That was an alright angle by... Was it Jewel? See, Jewel's... I've got Jewel just after Barkley, I think, in my big board, because he's just a really good, solid, hard-hitting middle linebacker who can cover a bit. Like, he got out to space there. Sometimes you want Barkley to just go north-south. Like, he runs like a 4.3, 40-yard dash, and he's got an elite broad jump. So you think he'd just explode through holes, but he likes doing his little shutter step. So you run through a guy, man. I mean, maybe he's about the... Yeah. See, notice how all of these good plays are on the outside. There we go. See, gets taken down easily there. I mean, he had an elite combine, but like, where's the actual production? Alright, pretty good read there, but that's been a lot of space, so it's easier to make that read than and obviously he's an elite athlete, he can make those cuts.
He's got the ball. Stutter step and drop at the 45 by Miles Taylor. It'll be 3rd and 5.
I mean, Sorley right now, it's one thing to have a great player like Barkley. It's another thing to need to spread the wealth. Barkley has 5
RPO plays that Penn State thrives on. On 2nd and 9, Barkley again, dump down, look out. Saquon in space, and he scoots near the marker.
Okay, so I'll just talk a little bit about Barkley's stats. And what is weird is that I can't find many advanced stats online. Maybe I'm just a shit researcher. All I wanted to do was find out where the yards after contact is what I wanted to find, right? So this is a PFF analysis of Barkley. They've got him as the #1 running back, but he's not actually. They don't actually grade him as elite at running, which I know that the league is becoming a very passing oriented sport, right? But for every Alvin Kamara, who is really good between the tackles, right? For every Alvin Kamara, you've got a Christian McCaffrey who absolutely sucked between the tackles, and he was, taken with the 8th pick last season, and he basically made 0 impact between the tackles. I mean, sure, he's a pretty good receiver, but like, take him as a slot receiver then, or a 3rd down back, right? But when you think about all the great teams of late, you need a bell cow. You need a dude who's going to hammer between the tackles to take pressure off the quarterback and to take pressure off the receivers. Because if opposition linebackers or linemen know that the run is most likely going to an edge, then that makes their life easier. Whereas if you've got a running back like Leonard Fournette, just hammer it between the tackles. LeGarrette Blount, Jay Ajayi, Dion Lewis, Rex Burkhead made a big impact in the Super Bowl just running between the tackles, So the value of a running back who specializes in running in space is not as high. And it also comes down to pass protection. So I think Guice, Scott, and Rashaad Penny have a higher ability to pass protect. Just this is actually, this isn't based on stats. I'm not sure if I can find stats. I might if I find that out, I might attach it as a little box on this screen. But Barkley's not as good in pass protection as you'd want from a 230-pound guy, right? And at 6 feet tall and 230 pounds, I feel like maybe he is actually a bit tall to be to only be 230 pounds, which sounds crazy. But Guice just seems more stocky. Scott seems stronger. And for Barkley had 29 bench reps, which is better than like a lot of linebackers, right? You'd think he'd be able to pass protect better. I'll try and find a clip of him pass protecting.
In the flat, it'll be a third down.
I mean, he's already has
Pitch to Barkley.
That's what speed, instinctive anxiousness about him and energy about it.
Barkley, a busy first half, breaks free and is knocked down. Another first down of the.
Anyway, Juice Wyndham did a very good I forget the dude's name who he did it with, but did a very good breakdown of Barkley. So I'll just close this. A very good breakdown of Barkley. I'm not sure if it was this Iowa game, but yeah, Barkley is not great in pass protection. I don't know if he's great at picking up blitzes, and also he gets a bit too pretty at the top of his routes. I'll try and link the video, Juice's video, to so that you guys can have a look. But I'm just, the purpose of this video is just to sort of, because like on Reddit I said that LJ Scott is a guy who I thought should have just entered into the draft, and I said that he's my second-rated running back behind Guice, and people were like, "Oh, are you forgetting about Barkley?" But so this is kind of like a response video. But yeah, so looking, Barkley's stats, right? 2.48 yards after contact before the runner, yards after contact before the runner gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it's lower than any other prospect in the draft. But he's got big playability with the breakaway percentage. Yeah, so you remember, okay, Barkley's running style. He's not overly physical, right?
Yeah, at a minute still, clock stops obviously in a college game with a first down.
And he was a very high usage player, so maybe in the NFL he can, there we go, break some tackles. Yeah, see, that's what you want, man. Dude's bouncing off of him, but I'm just not sure about the consistency in doing that. And that was a pretty good angle to run through, I believe. There we go. Yeah, okay, that's the strength that you want to see. And the agility. This is a huge game. Look at that, 40 touches. They used him a lot, which makes me think that maybe his durability will be bounce outside. There we go. Yeah. So for every bit of bad tape, I think where he can do more, he does things like that.
How about this jump cut right here? Jewel is right here. Has him, looks like he has a chance to make a play. Untouched.
See, elite athleticism. That's a pretty simple read though, right? Just bounce into space. But then when there's less room, I'm not sure about his effectiveness.
Step down just before the dive, so first and goal. Again, that's how won the back.
Making big plays.
Saquon has the edge, breaks another arm tackle.
No way.
Into Iowa territory, cuts it back. Saquon Barkley getting loose now in the third quarter and showing you his brilliance.
How did he stay in bounds? How about the left foot just stopped? You're gonna die when you see this. He's on the sideline, right?
Was the knee down? And a delayed handoff.
He's slow, man. Look at that. What is that? There's not much explosion there at all. Explode through the holes, man. Come on. Anyway, let's just look at the footage of Guice just to see the difference in speed and power, like north-south between the tackles, right?
Just inside the 5. Derrius Guice.
There we go.
And a good game
actually
for
looking for contact.
Well, at third down conversions, Russell Gage, the motion man.
picking up pass protection there.
He got rid of it. Jump ball, and it's
Gives the
complete.
quarterback enough time.
Stephon Sullivan. And
He can receive as well.
Swing pass out to Guice.
Keeps his feet. I don't think Barkley keeps his feet there. I think he gets crushed.
2nd and 7. Again, Gage in motion. Play fake. Etling wants a home run. Long ball, man out there, and incomplete. Chark goes up to the top of your screen. And Moreau, the tight end, in motion.
Well, they blitz him, though.
Flare it out to Guice. And
keep in mind that this is against Alabama, which is probably one of the best.
Center, gives it to Guice on a version of the Jets.
Alabama is one of the best teams in football. So
quick snap to Etling. Quick slant to Chark. First
How about
down.
that? Right at Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Man. 1. Derrius Guice in motion. They're going to give it to him. Coming back to the near side. He's got a first down.
Manhood, they're trying to run it, but finesse him at the same time.
And again, they switched their tackles, who actually ran into each other trying to get set. First down at the 42. Play action for Etling. Long ball. Trying it again. Just overshot Chark. So LSU will work from the 39.
See, they use Guice out
in the
wide a
shotgun.
little bit.
A quick throw to the outside. Who's going to get it? It's Harrison.
Yep.
Ronnie Harrison.
Yeah, so the guy seems a bit more sound in his routes. He's not as Barkley likes to do his shimmy when he could have just done a simple cut, and that the difference in a second is huge in the passing game, you know. So there's that. Yeah, and Guice's stats. So let's just look at the stats. As far as just pure rushing goes, see, Guice had an average of 7.6 last season. I think that was because he was used. He wasn't the number one back, so that he was a bit fresher and he could sort of make the most of tired defenders. Is probably why that was. But this 5.3 average is good. Barkley's is higher. Where is it? Yeah, so, but Barkley had way more receiving yards, but I'm not sure. I think that was just because the team didn't have that many other weapons on offense. Yeah, that's what I think. So, yeah, PFF brings up a very good point here, is that I don't think Barkley is physical enough to want to just take like a hit and get back to the line of scrimmage as opposed to losing yards. So I'll show you this video as a demonstration. All right, could just take it. Yeah, see, that goes back for a safety. I think it is certainly. Well, I'm not sure if it's nitpicking, because that's not what you want out of your running back. You need to do like Barkley. Like, yeah, could be a good third down back. And a back like a Kamara who can play off of a more physical runner's play. But I'm not sure if he can be that guy, you know, the bell cow, right? LJ Scott, however, I think can.
And still in control of
He's
the
220 pounds at 5'11" from memory. How big is he? 185, yes. Oh no, that's like 6'1". Oh, okay, 6'1", 230. Yeah, okay, but he just seems more just sturdier than Barkley. And he's more north-south, right? Which has value. His stats aren't up there with Barkley's, but yeah, he can still receive a little bit. But just watch him. They say, you know, next Le'Veon Bell. I mean, there's a Michigan State connection there, but Scott actually does display the patience. He displays the desire for contact. He displays a good receiving game. So just watch a bit of the tape here.
Throwing destiny in the east. Milwaukee scans the field and has a screen defended by Christian Campbell. Pressure comes out of the secondary. It's L.J. Scott.
He's got some athleticism.
The free release out of the backfield, and the Penn State defense drops, and that should be Cole Farmer. As they try to adjust, we've seen Saquon Barkley jump over some people.
He's got good hands. He made that catch look easy.
L.J. Scott says, yeah, I can do that
Between them.
Sorry for the quality.
Scott has struggled this
See?
year. Big part of the
He gains like 4 yards using his offensive line, driving his feet, right? Can make at least one guy miss in open space. Makes it good cuts, right? That's a pretty good gain. 5 or 6 yards. Using his lineman, driving through. See, as a running, I'm sounding really flustered here, but like, you want a running back to gain easy yards, right? So just gain. So if you're short, so 3rd and short, you want a guy who's just going to drive through and make the first down. And on first down, you want a guy who just relieves a bit of pressure off the passing game by gaining, 4 or 5 yards, right? So you could bring Barkley in as maybe just a 2nd and 3rd down back to just really break the back of the defense, because he's got that big playability. But I'm not sure about just the standard. All right, yeah, we're definitely going to get 4 or 5 yards between the tackles with this guy, which is what you want in a running back. You want a reliable dude who can just consistently do that. And then with the more fancy pass plays, you worry about getting the ball to the receivers. That's why I don't like this trend of teams just saying, "Oh yes, we need running backs that can catch the ball." Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, I'm not saying that that's a trend because they took Fournette 4th, but like you take McCaffrey at 8th. Like if you're passing the ball, man, you want it to be going to up the field, not just as checkdowns, right? Barkley has the speed to be a downfield threat though, so that is interesting, and you can play him in the slot. So I do think he has value, but yeah, I mean, like any running back can run a check down, right? So if you've got this elite player in the passing game from the running back spot, it's only a selective kind of option, I think. And Kamara going in the 2nd round, I believe, that's a good spot for him. But he's not the go-to running back, I believe, the number 1 guy. So looking at a bit of Scott highlights. Probably could have cut inside there. So he'd cut in like this. But, oh well. Look at that pass protection. That's what you need. The linebacker had no chance. This is a problem. He should have cut out, but maybe that's just how he was coaching. He should have been there for the check down, but maybe this is the not great quarterback play probably. Could have got it out earlier. Makes guys miss with juking and strength, right? Back to the line of scrimmage. Don't know why they're showing us that. There we go. See? That's like 6 or 7 yards. Just from sheer toughness and athletic ability. So another guy, like Rashaad Penny had like 7 yards per carry, right? And this guy I've got early 2nd round. So let's watch a bit of him and see his running between the tackles. There's no volume on this one for some reason. Sorry for the shit quality. Bugger out. It's 480p? Yeah, right. See, available for the check down as well as chipping on a player. That's what you need. See, that's great vision right there. He's not stuffing around with any jukes. He's just going straight for the hole. That's a few yards right there that can make all the difference. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to talk about when it comes to Barkley and the rest of the running backs. LJ Scott, I think you should declare for the draft, man. I think you're a second round value. Guice is a first round value. I think he's a pretty good return guy, and he's still got big playability. So does Rashaad Penny. LJ Scott less so, but I think that's more because he's a sort of a shorter yardage sort of guy. Yeah. So that's my take on Saquon Barkley. I think his strengths are... I've gone through his strengths anyway. So, yeah, interested to see what you think. It's a bit of an unconventional view not having Barkley in the first round. In fact, having him 45th is the lowest I've seen anywhere. I'm not hating on the guy. I think he's still going to be quite good and fun to watch. You know, it's great to see just such an athletic dude out there, but I've got real questions about his value as a pure running back. I think he's more of a situational running back. So, and maybe a chess piece that you can move around, put him in the slot. But yeah, I've got to try. I'll try and find some videos of his route running and explain why I don't think he's that good. I'll just pause the video until I find it. I thought I would just talk about... So this PFF article is very good. It talks about... So Barkley was hit... Sorry, I suck, man. I suck. On zone plays, Barkley was hit on average after just 1.6 yards compared to 3.5 when the team ran power, which is obviously a significant difference, but Barkley was also a significant factor in some of the negative plays. Zone plays generally give the running back multiple possible points of attack to hit, relying on vision from the back to find the right hole versus power plays with a specific intended point of attack. So doesn't that indicate that Barkley is way better in a power run scheme and he's not great at reading holes, which is what a zone running style promotes, right? I think there's just evidence that he's not great as a pure running back. Yeah, sorry, I'll just pause it again to just try and find what I was looking for. Anyway, folks, so it's really hot in here. I can't be bothered finding videos of Barkley's route running, but just notice that he doesn't get to the spot as fast as you would like. And also, I should mention that when I said that Penn State didn't really have any other weapons, that was false. I've got DaeSean Hamilton as like the top receiver in the whole damn draft. I might do a video on him later. And I've got Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki's a third round guy to me, but yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, appreciate it. It's about 40 degrees in this room. Don't come to Australia. Oh, it's alright. The internet sucks. It's hot. But everything else, beautiful. Anyway, thanks.